good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back here at the public forum at the exhibition Hydrogen and Fuel Cells, Hotspot at Hannover Fair 2022. I'm happy to have you here. Have a drink, have a seat, and enjoy the next 20 minutes with me, the moderator, Mona Lee, and then also with my guest. We are going to discuss powering the future of energy. Sustainable solutions for electrolyzers and fuel cells. Honestly, we are going to talk about much more. So please welcome with me on stage the head of global sales of HORIBA, Mr. Ferdinand Spannan. Welcome on stage.
Thank you for having me.
So, HORIBA's booth is right next to us, and I just want to point out that the whole fan club is watching us, so so welcome. I also want to say welcome to all our online guests. We are live streaming from the fair, and also all interviews will be available on our website. So, first of all, we need to talk about HORIBA, but also we need to talk about a different company. We need to talk about FuelCon first.
Yes, well, FuelCon is a long-standing partner of the Hannovermesse. I think we are here since the 1990s, actually, even before there was the founding of FuelCon as a company in 2001. So we are 20 years in the test and station business, and since 2018 we are part of the HORIBA group.
Okay, so FuelCon was with us for many years. It's a company in a HORIBA, large player came in. Who is HORIBA for those in the audience who don't know the company?
Yes, it is a large conglomerate company that was founded in 1945 in Kyoto in Japan. Started out with a pH meter, and since then always environmental measurement technologies had been the center of the activities. Water purity, also air purity. So you have, for example, the emission gas measurement systems are world known. The 4V scandal was detected on HORIBA equipment in the US, yes. And yes, well, we are very close to Volkswagen, but anyway, it has to be said. And yes, the internal combustion engine and chassis dyno business has also been a long part of HORIBA corporate history.
Okay, so a large player acquired FuelCon. We need to talk about the core business. So, because I'm pretty sure that you're here with anything that has something to do with the hydrogen technology or fuel cells. So, why are you here at this fair?
Well, as I said, FuelCon has been here since the beginning of any fuel cell specific part of the Hannovermesse, basically a founding member, so to say. And well, it started out in the year 2001 with first projects in the automotive business. And we are here today because we want to present, of course, the FuelCon as part of HORIBA Group, the FuelCon solutions for the test stations, for battery, for fuel cell, and for electrolysis. Of course, here we focus on fuel cell and electrolysis, and for all the technologies out there, that is PEMFC, SOFC, as well as alkaline. And beside that, the HORIBA group can also contribute with scientific equipment and process and environmental equipment, which is also specific to hydrogen, for example, H2 purity measurement, the Raman spectroscopy for the surface analysis of MEA, for example, or bipolar plate surface analysis is also available with our equipment.
Okay, so we are talking about test equipment here. Why is it so important to do testing on fuel cells?
Well, I think, you know, in the past 15 years, I think a lot of them are available here are known. You know, it has been a roller coaster ride. The business has been going up and down. Some big players have entered, they have exited again. And the whole background of this was the economies of hydrogen business. And I think the efficiencies behind and the whole business case.
Yeah.
Does it really make sense to invest in hydrogen? I think that it has been put at question again and again. But there has also been an inflow and an outflow of funds. And I think that now we see really a big shift in the investment, and the big corporate banks from US and so on, they say the next unicorns will be in the green energy. So really is a fundamental shift. And why it has been so important to do the test and measurement is basically to prove that we can be economical, that we can be not only an environmental friendly alternative to fossil fuels, but really also an economical viable solution.
What I really like is that you are referring to we, as in we being part of the hydrogen community. Is that right?
Yes, basically, I mean, we are at the forefront in the testing together with the customers. And we are not the ones that define the testing. It's the customer requirements that we listen to, and we design custom-specific test stations.
Okay, for me, how can I imagine that? Let's imagine I'm here, one of the fuel cell companies here. I build stacks. When I approach you, what do you provide?
Well, first of all, we start out with really the in-depth technical clarifications. We will give you a questionnaire which is some pages long. We will ask you for specifics for your testing. Hopefully you can answer as much as possible so that we can really make a customer-specific solution which will be just fitting to your needs. And so, for example, what gases you want to input to the fuel cell, what gases you want to test in the exhaust, what interfaces you might have, what sensor requirements you might have. Safety concept is of course always very important and very specific for the country where the test station will be installed in the end. Pressure equipment directives need to be observed, whether it is installed in the US with ASME, in Germany with PE, or in China with CELO. So all these things we can accommodate.
So in terms of testing, in your test equipment, is it from how standardized to how customized can you go?
Well, we have an entry-level model. Let's say this is a C10 LT, and this is built according the data sheet. So that is our standard model, and typically used in research and development, in research agencies, research institutes, and universities. And then how customized it can become? Well, recently it's also going into the direction of industrialization, and let's say the specimen moving. Maybe you have autonomous goods movers. So whatever is requested from the customer side, what we should take care of in the test cycle, we will do that, including also the automation behind. If it is for a more manual setup and more R&D specific, basically there also can be very, very customized designs with reciprocating pumps and so on. So you have, how to say, bypass. You might have special gases in specific concentrations that need to be confirmed before and after. So it's really, there is no end to the customization. Yeah, and that's also our specialty, I think. We're very strong at that.
I see that because what you mentioned before is that you can also do, what's it called, the measurement on how clean the hydrogen is, the purity. That's very rare, right?
The purity, well, it is, that is from a different segment of HORIBA. It is not my expertise, I have to say, but definitely we can provide such measurement techniques as well. Yes, measurement instruments.
Yeah,
they are more or less off-the-shelf products. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. And HORIBA is an international company. And are you based in Germany as well? You have or in Europe?
Well, the HORIBA group is total 8,300 staff globally.
Okay, so one of the more large players here.
Yes, it is stock listed in Japan, and we in Germany we're about 1,000, and we have sites in Oberursel and Darmstadt in Hessen, and in Leichlingen, and also in Neuhausen. This is in Baden-Württemberg. And then our factory, which is just built, in January we moved into the new factory, and our factory is in Magdeburg, Barleben.
Tell me more about a new built factory that you said you're building currently a factory.
It's already finished, yes.
It's finished, okay.
We finished it by Christmas.
Okay.
And over the year we moved into the new factory. So the first work day in 2022, it was already in the new factory. We have basically quadrupled, how would you call that? 4 times the size. It's a 10,000 square meter factory. And
so 10,000 square meters is roughly the exact same size of this fair here.
Of
so
this
huge.
Hall. Yeah, it is really probably state of the art, and I would say, well, I don't know in detail, but probably one of 3 largest test station factories globally right now. Yes.
And probably the largest in Europe as well.
I would assume so. Yes. Yes. So it is, and still, I mean, the foot space is there. We have the people, but also the business growth has been enormous. Especially since second quarter of last year. It was not only the rebound of the economy with coronavirus effects that needed to be leveled out, but rather also just the extreme increase in business activity in the hydrogen business. Yes.
Is that a global observation that you can make, that since the second half of 2021 that the demand has risen? Or is it specifically your company that was lucky?
Well, I mean, the material shortage, which is probably an issue for most of the manufacturing companies, this is a global phenomenon. And I think, as I said, the rebound after the corona, there had been an investment holding for many months. People could not go to work, the projects could not get finished, so there's definitely this rebound effect. But then also specific to our company, because once the people heard, okay, we have now bigger capacity, yes, our order books filled up quickly because the people wanted a strong partner who can also scale up. You know, it's now the industrialization phase, and the people rely on partners that can scale up together with them, and not just small entities where you have maybe 20, 30, 40 people working, and you can already see the end of the assembly line is reaching that end of capacity quite fast. Now, in our case, we have a lots of capacity to offer to our customers.
You just mentioned that there's a global supply, let's say, decreasement, especially when we are waiting for industrial product from the industry in Europe. Does that also affect your newly built factory?
Yes, absolutely. So it is. We are part of this H2 Gear Consortium in Germany, and they are exactly focusing on this industrialization of the SOFC test station, of the SOFC, SOEC electrolysis stacks. And I think that we are just seeing the beginning of a huge growth wave in the next few years.
Okay.
Yes.
You just mentioned the H2 Gear Consortium. What is that?
Well, it is a consortium that was, let's say, initiated by the Ministry of Economy in Germany, and it's also state-funded to some percentage, but then also bringing in private equity from the consortia partners. A lot of universities are taking part in that. And it's basically a consortia which is providing the basis for the industrialization of SOEC production in Europe, let's say. And yes, the focus is on Germany, but as we all have also European spirit, so it is basically, let's say, the role model as it should be done in order to come down with the cost and to make this a viable business case. Yes.
And this is so interesting. Testing does not only make any fuel cell applications better, but also is all about cost reduction, right? So that is really smart to implement test equipment on site. If there's any question from the audience at this time, you can raise your hand and ask that question now. Yes. Okay, everyone's tired. Afternoon coffee. I get that. Yes. Or just too shy. That's absolutely no problem. I do have one more question. What's the excuse me, what's the unique value proposition?
Well, the unique value proposition of HORIBA is that we can provide not only the test stations, yes. I think the FuelCon by itself has a unique value proposition. It can offer from R&D and up to end of line, meaning from cell over stack to system, inline MEA. You know, we can offer all the solutions that are required in the testing of fuel cell and electrolysis. Then, yes, and
Go ahead, please.
Sorry, I do not have a yes. In the HORIBA world, I think that together with FuelCon, we can provide as a unique value proposition the combination of the scientific and PE instruments, which are then more on the material analysis, for example. So we see the three big pillars: material analysis, energy and mobility as our business segments to be very active in. Also for the chemical industry, for example, very interesting partner we can be, and they are demanded solutions for the hydrogen industry. And I think, yes, a lot of the players are also here, like Heraeus and so on. And I think that, yes, we have the full range from one-stop solution, basically, and a global service and sales structure as well.
Yes. And this is kind of unique, and I can only congratulate for that. And also, I would like to congratulate on the next step that your company is going to make, because in our little pre-chat, you mentioned that you need to hire staff. So anyone who has the CV with you, just drop it off at HORIBA's booth. For what do you need people?
Well, basically, more or less in all ranges, because we see growth and demand of resources in all areas. Of course, the engineering, because of the customization that we do, the engineering is very much in focus. And we want to continue on this path of customization. So we want to keep pushing, and that's where we need staff in process engineering, in mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, but then also technical sales. In my department, we need people to join. Yes, and then services, of course. So all these test stations where we have collected orders, they need to be commissioned, they need to be started up, and continued support in the servicing.
And my speaker is somebody who has traveled all the world and even lived in Japan. So HORIBA also has offices all over the world. So anyone, drop your CV there. I think it's highly welcome there. Unfortunately, the next speaker is already waiting, so we need to run off the stage. But
okay.
Thank you so much for having you here, representing HORIBA. I wish you a really successful fair. I think it's going quite well for you so far. So enjoy the day and the next days. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mona. Thank you.